The WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code NBA SGPN to get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Start crushing college football, NFL, and WNBA with Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. You know me, you know the voice on the guy. It's me, really real, feeling real. It's Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. There's actually a really, really good drop to that Courtney Williams just gave us, and I need to clip that. I need to clip that really quickly so that we can drop that whenever we lose the lock and just hit the dog because it was hilarious. Top dog, little dog, underdog, it don't matter. As long as we a dog, man, very, very good clip. We're definitely gonna have to drop that. That's gonna be the new you missed the lock, hit the dog drop. And that's what happened. AT over 32.5 PRA was never a shot. And it was really I give more credit to Cheryl Reeve than less of to AT for Cheryl Reeve there was no chance. Like it was really no chance. They just decided this is gonna be the game. We're gonna lock up AT and somebody else has to beat us. And nobody else beat us. Like that's really what happened. Doubles in the low post. There was no shot for her in the post. She couldn't. They were guarding in transition, and she couldn't get those easy transition buckets that she loves. Like it was really nothing that could have been done about that. Great game plan, and there was no backup plan for the Connecticut Sun. But the dog, oh, I told you the unrivaled 305 parlay was a sign. Fee 20 and 10 in a win. Absolutely. Plus 305. Very, very nice cash. And Scott, when I'm in Unrivaled in January down there in Miami, I'm gonna try to get some drops, get some nice intro drops leading into the show. You think some players gonna give me the time of day? Scott Studio Rush Show. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beam me up.
Surprise.
I'll tell you what, it'd be a lot worse if one of the players walked up to you and said, I watch the WNBA gambling show every day. I think that'd probably be worse, so I'm sure you'll get the time of day. But it would be worse if they recognized you immediately.
Do you know?
Just saying. That's the
Do you
alternative. The
know
alternative is they
how?
recognize you immediately, and suddenly they're on a list. So just keep that in mind. But yeah,
No,
I think you'll be able to
signed
get some.
NDAs.
But
I
yeah,
signed
point is,
NDAs.
basically the same plays as you. AT did nothing the entire game. I had her to go over her points. Nice game plan, double teamed her every time that she was in the low post, but it looked like the entire team basically quit. I thought the body language from AT was atrocious the entire game. She was pouting the entire way through. It felt like the game was over once Minnesota went on that massive first quarter run. Connecticut never really responded. They cut it to like 11 maybe a couple times, but that was basically it. Minnesota coasted, and the game was over. So point is, nice win for Minnesota. We got the finals matchup that we were kind of hoping for. Of course, I thought the Aces would get through, but we thought the Lynx...
Well, not as a fan.
No, yeah, of course. We thought we both loved the Lynx, though, with the actual bracket once it was officially revealed. So we're not surprised that the Lynx did get through. Did win the dog, though. Also had Nafisa, had the double-double with the Lynx to win at plus 190. Thank God I didn't take the 1-10 win margin because I would have been pissed. They won by 11. But either way, we both lost the lock with AT. We both won the dog. So can't complain.
Yeah, can't complain at all. But yeah, as a fan, worst possible matchup for Liberty. Oh man, this it's nerve-wracking because this is the only matchup that I think the Liberty could possibly lose. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
If it's Connecticut, we're celebrating a finals right now.
Probably in 4, maybe 3. I think they would smack that team.
We already have this. There couldn't be a number high enough that we wouldn't tell you to lay it because Connecticut just doesn't beat the Liberty. Like, all right,
I
Before
want
we
to
get
ask you
to
quickly, just
the
before we get into
yeah.
the actual game one, I want to ask you a bit more about game five. It was something I tweeted out, but I want your actual thoughts on it. Do you think
Mhm.
Connecticut should consider blowing up the team?
I don't think you should blow it up, but you gotta find that extra. You have to actually go out there and sign that extra piece that you need because you definitely need another offensive piece. And I understand that you're not trying to compromise defense at all, but man, I mean, how you have to get the scoring right because it was clear cut. It was clear cut. They took AT out of the game. Nobody else was able to get going, and they lost. Dejanay Carrington, I think at one point, I don't know if she finished, but at one point she was leading the Connecticut Sun in shot attempts. That's a losing game plan. Like that is a losing game plan.
She
If
did, by the
Dejanay
way.
Carrington
She had 14.
yeah, so if she leads the game in shot attempts, that is a losing game plan. Regardless if we think she's better offensively, and she is by far better offensively than what she was. That's not how you win games. You can keep her on the floor, but you have to sign that extra piece. And that's what Jonquel Jones was for them. And that's why they were able to at least get to the finals. Because that's what Jonquel Jones was for them. She was another scoring option that they can go to. Now they don't have that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to fully roast AT because I know that she's made us a lot of money this season. In reality, when your best player has a hard time hitting a shot outside of like 18 feet, you're not going to win. It's just not going to work out. And it just feels like once
Mhm,
AT was doubled in the low block, the spacing was shot because they know AT can't shoot. And it just felt like they collapsed on her in
mhm.
the paint and nobody else could do anything. But we've seen this team fall apart in the playoffs for several years in a row. The main issue is offense every year. I think it's safe to say I called it a legacy game for AT in game five. I think we can agree, maybe you'll disagree, but I feel this way. AT cannot be the best player on a title team. I think she can be the second best player on a title team, but I don't see her being a one. Fair or foul?
I don't agree.
Okay, I
I
figured you
think she's
wouldn't, but that's where I
because
stand.
ultimately, like, it's not many players that I think you put them on a team and she's gonna be, and they're gonna be better than her. Like, regardless, even if you give her somebody really good, that's just gonna elevate AT's game even more. So, I don't necessarily agree. I just think it's the curse of Connecticut. Like, that's all it is. It's the curse of Connecticut, and Connecticut, no matter what they do, they're just not gonna win, man. Like that. If there's one bet to make, Connecticut is not gonna win. Like there, this
Fair.
is how many because it's not just AT. That it was when Jonquel was up there and she was an MVP. They still didn't win. Like Connecticut just doesn't win, and we have to come to that fact. They're gonna go have a great team, get to the playoffs, more than likely win a playoff round. I mean, they always get to the
Usually.
semifinals, but
But in
then
the long
you're
term,
kind of
they're frauds. They're pretenders.
50.
That's what they are.
Yeah, 50-50 ever. Like we should never, ever, ever, ever have a Connecticut Sun championship future. Ever. Ever.
No. It's a
Until they
donation.
win one, yeah, it's a pure donation. They can have a great team, they're not gonna win it.
That's how I feel.
So, I don't think it's AT, I Connecticut overall, like, they're just yeah, like, see, look, and I would even think that's a great move for Kelsey Mitchell as well. If Kelsey Mitchell was to come over in free agency and join Connecticut, that would be a great move. I still wouldn't bet Connecticut to win because Connecticut just Connecticut's, like, they always get there or they get somewhere close, and then they don't win.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright. Hurricane Helene, devastating to all, and appreciate, great company of Sports Gambling Podcast Network and Sean and Ryan to not only have this team up with a local charity, mountainprojects.org, to help give back, but also to match the highest bidder. So, hey, we're asking for donations, giving donations to the mountainprojects.org. And the biggest donation will get a guest spot on the college football pick show and a whole bunch of gear as well. So make sure you go ahead and just lock in. Hey, we've made a bunch of money. This is going to a really, really good cause. A lot of people really, really could do a lot with this money. So if you have anything, you want a nice bet, want anything, and you got something else, just kind of withdraw and give it over to mountainprojects.org. And for sure, drop that SGPN in the tagline so that we know and everybody else knows who sent it. And then, yeah, we're definitely looking out And, we do nice things for our listeners for giving back. So really appreciate it. And biggest donation, guest spot on College Football Pick Show. All right. Let's see, Scott. We have the WNBA Finals. Where is it at? Where is it at?
Let's get ready to rumble!
Man. The highest form of basketball. Minnesota Lynx and the New York Liberty. We have a bunch of stuff. I might need you to look for Finals MVP odds, Scott, because I don't think that's available to me in Virginia.
Okay, I can check now.
So might need your help with that. Looking at other series markets that I have, though, we do have a spread for the finals. New York Liberty, 1.5 games, plus 105. Minnesota, plus 1.5 games, minus 125. I believe, let's see, where is the actual series line, though? I don't have that, actually.
Okay, I can
check
pull up
another
both.
book for that.
So give me a second. The Liberty are obviously favored. They're favored by a decent amount. But to get into the
it's like
actual
I think it's like 250.
So I'll go on DraftKings. That's just for reference. The Liberty to win the series. Sorry, trying to find. I see spread. I'm just trying to find the actual title winner.
Yeah, I didn't see it on DraftKings.
It's got to be here somewhere.
Let's get to another book. DraftKings isn't doing it for me there.
I think my BetMGM froze. So just give me a second.
I'm on FanDuel right now. That's crazy that they dropped the series price line. But last I checked, it was 250. Let's go. Okay, there we go. So the New York Liberty laying 275. It has jumped up to 275. I see. That's why you got to look, because it was 250 earlier. Plus 225 for the Minnesota Lynx to win the series. Told you plus 105 for Liberty laying 1.5. Minnesota Lynx plus 1.5. Minus 125. Total games, 3 games plus. So 3 games equals sweep. Plus 225. 4 games plus 170. 5 games plus 170 you can get as well. So, Scott, you have, here's how I have it. You have one team in the New York Liberty that I believe as a full team is put together and has the better players. They have the better overall offense, and I think the defenses are too comparable. So then you have the Minnesota Lynx side that has the coach that is better, the championship level coach, who is also 7-2 straight up against Cheryl Reeves, 7-2 straight up against Sandy Brondello in the playoffs. So we got the Minnesota Lynx with the coaching edge. Yeah, Coach of the Year award as well. So we got Cheryl Reeve with the coaching edge. The player edge, I would say, goes to the New York Liberty. But we've both seen you can get outcoached in a playoff series.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a lot of money to be laying with the New York Liberty, despite us both being New York Liberty fans. I think this is a lot of money to be laying for Cheryl Reeve, who has a pretty good team, and they're also 2-1. I'm sorry, the Lynx are 2-1 versus the Liberty this season,
and they won the Commissioner's Cup title.
Yeah. So what are you thinking here for the series? Where is your head at?
I think the value's on Minnesota. I think that even though the Liberty I expect to win the title, it will not be easy. Minnesota's well coached, they're deep, and they're very, very smart. They're a well-organized team, and you could tell that they do a lot of little things well. The offense flows very consistently. They rarely have many, I'd say, slip-ups offensively. It just feels like they constantly have a solid game plan. They play to the game plan. They have a bunch of options. Everybody is a threat with the basketball in their hands. And that is a very, very dangerous component of this offense. So I like Minnesota's foundation. They've given the Liberty problems. I do think the Liberty will dominate on the inside. The entire series for me comes down to the rebounding, and I do think Brianna and Jonquel will have to dominate the boards. If they're going to win the series, they need to basically average around, you can make an argument like 17 plus rebounds per game between them. They need to own the
Yeah.
boards. That's kind of the main difference for the series. Minnesota's going to be more efficient, or they're going to try to be. The issue is we've seen it in the Aces series, for example. The Liberty, on occasion, can get very stagnant offensively in their half-court sets in the fourth quarter. That's going to be the problem. Can the Liberty limit those and try to match the Minnesota efficiency offensively? Or are we going to be getting Minnesota potentially going bombs away from three, and the Liberty have to find a way to keep up? Real question mark. I will go with the Liberty. I am going to pick Liberty in 5. For the sake of a bet, I like Minnesota plus 1.5 games minus 125.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is for me too. I just think this Minnesota team is too good for the Liberty just to pack them up out of here and cruise
Mhm.
to a title. Like I think we're gonna get our close games, and I think we might see a game where the Liberty run Minnesota out of the building and Minnesota runs the Liberty out of the building because they hit every shot. Like that's ultimately what it is. I think the 3-point, the threes from Minnesota, that's gonna be really, really big for them to keep in the series. The offensive rebounding and what you were talking to the rebounding. If Minnesota continues to get extra chances, then they are going to absolutely kill the New York Liberty. So the Liberty have to dominate the rebounding edge. You can't give this Minnesota team extra chances to kill you. Yeah, I I think this is a tough one, and I'm with you. I think we take the plus 1.5, and we just bank on this getting to 5. Because if this gets to 5, the Liberty are winning a game 5 in New York. I don't. They're not losing on their home floor again. So I think they're winning 100% a game 5 in New York. So that's the last thing for me. We got a plus 1.5 minus 125. I think that's actually the bet we make here, and we just say we get 5 games.
The only other argument you could make if you do like Minnesota, it's going to spoil the game 1 prediction. I expect the Liberty to win game 1 at home. You just had
Yeah.
Minnesota coming off of an elimination game, win or go home. You have 1 day off, and now you're against the Liberty in a building that the Liberty are very good in. I expect New York to win game 1. So if you wanted to go for some potential Lynx to lose game 1 and win the series, that's a
Mhm.
massive payout. I think that's the
Yeah.
approach I would
Plus
take if I was going
550.
Minnesota. Yeah, plus 550 is a good deal. I expect the Liberty to win game 1. We'll talk about that in a second with regard to the spread, if they'll cover or not. But I like the Liberty to win game 1. So if I'm picking Minnesota to win the series, if I was going to do it, I would combo it with the Liberty first game to go their way. That's how I would look at it.
Mhm.
But I do think it's going 5. I think it's going to be a war. But I do think physically and just based on the overall length that the Liberty possess and a bit of unfinished business, chip on their shoulder, losing last year against
Yeah,
the
man.
compromised Aces team,
Yeah.
I think they get it done. But it will not be easy at all. And you're going to see Reeves make it very difficult because I think she will be able to generate a lot of potential, I'd say, opportunities for her team compared to Sandy. That's how I'm looking at it. But I am
Mhm.
going to go Liberty in 5.
All right. Uh, Scott, do you have Finals MVP?
I was looking for it, but BetMGM crashed on me. Let me quickly check if I could find it offshore. I probably will be able to, but I just want to see if I can
All right.
find it. Now I found the series price. Yes, okay, I found it. Favorite is
All right.
Brianna at around plus 110. Ionescu's plus 200. Collier's about 275, and Jonquel is 2500. Unfortunately, I found it offshore. I don't have anybody else listed. I'm going to try to look for
Mhm.
more options elsewhere, but those are the 4 that I got.
So also, I feel very important to remind people that the WNBA is different than the NBA for the most part in terms of it is a lot more common to not see the best player on a WNBA team win Finals MVP.
Mhm.
Uh, you can go, hand in hand and say maybe Kalia Copper was the best player on that Sky team that won, but I think everybody would think that the best player was Candace Parker. And we also have one of the aces team where it was clear cut Asia Wilson, best player, but Chelsea Gray won, and Chelsea Gray second best player. So we've seen there's a pattern of this happening in the WNBA way more often than the NBA. For the NBA, is a foregone conclusion for the most part. Uh, People will argue back and forth, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, but it's normally a foregone conclusion. Iggy is really the last time it just kind of went wonky. So, with that being said, Sabrina at 2-1, I believe you said.
I said
Very
Sabrina was
interesting.
around 2-1. I saw exactly 2-1, and Brianna's 210 is a 110 if you wanted to go for the Liberty main people.
So, I think Sabrina is very, very interesting as she plays amazing in New York. And if she reigns three, like if they get 3 wins in New York and it's just everybody wins on their home floor, and Sabrina averages some 4 or 5 threes in those games, in addition to what she already does, assist, all of that, I think it'd be kind of tough not to give it to Sabrina. But for at least for the Liberty side, and then Jonquel at 25-1, I'm just always going to sprinkle on Jonquel after she won that Commissioner's Cup MVP. I'm probably going to also sprinkle on Jonquel, but uh, I don't know if I'm going straight to Stewie because I think Stewie's going to get the Nafisa Collier matchup, and that might be kind of tough.
Yeah, you might remember when we did the initial postseason first round episode, we did like Courtney Williams to win Finals MVP at an insane
Yes,
price.
yes,
So
yes,
we
yes.
already do have that in theory in our back pocket. But for this series, I am picking the Liberty, even though it is a good spot. I like John Quell's price. I think John Quell's price is insane, especially since I said the Liberty
Yeah.
have to dominate on the inside. John Quell has
If she
to
averages a double-double.
she'll be around there. She should be. So I think she's got a shot at it. That's what I would do if I was the Liberty. I would try to use John Quell to once again have a serious mismatch on Collier. Maybe foul trouble's a concern for Collier, but you can try to do the inside out approach that the Lynx do, which is dominate the inside, opens up other stuff for 3-point shooters, and they might try to play through John Quell at some point.
Hey,
Who
and
I think is going,
Jonquel's been
yeah.
really good with the assist. Really good with the assist recently too. So, yeah, that's a really good angle, Scott.
So I think John Quell is
All
very
right,
alive to win
for
it,
the Lynx, if the
but
Lynx get this done.
yeah.
Hmm?
I was going to say, I think that John Quell's very live to
Yeah,
win
yeah.
it.
So,
If I had to pick, I'll go Brianna at plus 110, but John Quell's price is way too high. That's my last point.
for the Lynx, if the Lynx get it done, I mean, of course, you got to drop one fee. The Courtney Williams thing is just, I mean, come on, she does everything. Like, what if Courtney Williams goes up here and just stat pads a crazy game and then continuously gets in the mid range? Like, so yeah, sure, little sprinkle on Courtney Williams. And then Thomas is talking about in the chat. Bridget Carlton did give them a game in that Commissioner's Cup game. That might be a really good angle too.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else here, Scott?
Not really. I feel like it's always going to be aimed more towards extreme stat lines. So I'm seeing questions about potentially who else can win it. And in reality, I think for Minnesota, it's either going to be Collier or Courtney Williams. Because if Williams averages like 15, 6, and whatever, she might win it anyway. So I think it's going to be those two. For New York, I think it will be pretty chalky. It will either be Brianna, Ionescu, or John Quell. That's it. I see 5 people with a chance to win the award. No offense to Alana. No offense to some of the other players in the starting lineups. I think those are the 5 players that can win this award. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Looking at quick little other stuff. Series points leader. Nafisa Collier plus 210, Breonna Stewart plus 250. This is actually a really good market. Holy shit. Nafisa Collier plus 210, Breonna Stewart plus 250, Sabrina Ionescu plus 260, Jonquel Jones 8-1, Caleb McBride 9-1, Courtney Williams 15-1. They got threes market, rebounds market, assists market. Scott, any of these tickle your fancy?
If I was going to go for anything that I think may have caught my eye, I think the rebounds for Jonquel and Brianna, though, are both at, like, the same price, which is kind of annoying. I was hoping Jonquel would be a bigger price. I don't think I would take Collier for rebounds. I just think that you're looking at a Liberty player who probably will crash the glass and get there. You got to pick the right one, which is kind of annoying. Courtney Williams to lead in assists. Vandersloot at 550 is an absolute joke, by the way. That's a donation if you bet that at 550. It's either going to be Courtney Williams or Ionescu. You can bet both if you want to. One of them's going to win it. That's how I'm looking at it. Jonquel for assist, though, 45 to 1's funny. You think they double team at some point, but I think it's going to be pretty chalky there. Points. I mean, Collier makes sense to be the favorite. I would go with Brianna at 250. I just think the Liberty are going to throw so many bodies at Collier that they might force somebody else to beat them. I think the Liberty have more star-powered options. I'll go with Brianna to lead in scoring as the non-favorite. But no, it's mostly going to be chalk for me. For three's favorite, though, I think Fibic at 12 to 1's a lot of fun for the three-point leader. Give me Fibic at 12 to 1.
Scott coming out of nowhere with a 12 to 1. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. I have to continue the Sabrina Ionescu. It's gonna hit at one point. I'm taking Ionescu point. I mean, we hit it in the series before, but still, like, I'm taking Ionescu plus 260 points leader, threes leader. I mean, give me the even money on Sabrina. Give me the even
Fair.
money. And Amada just this has got to be her coming out party, man. This is her. She's in the finals again. She's in the finals again. It is no New York. I mean, no aces here. I'm back on Sabrina. So I'm just stat padding Sabrina point leader in all of this. This is Sabrina's finals MVP. I'm just rolling with that 2 to 1. This is Sabrina's finals MVP. Stewie's got him. She's done it. This is Sabrina's time to step up. All right. And Jonquel props are actually really interesting too, because Jonquel was, again, bridesmaid, very, very long time. Jonquel Jones, very, very, matter of fact, it even carried over into New York, her being a bridesmaid. Jonquel really does have to step up. So I am super tempted by that rebounds. And I'm definitely betting Jonquel 25 to 1 to win finals MVP, like 100%.
I think it's a great price for Jonquel.
It's an amazing price. For somebody that can 100% do it and has been an MVP in the league overall, like, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Underdog fantasy. Hey, WNBA, NFL, college football, MLB, MMA, NASCAR, all those fantasy stat projections. You can play all of those on Underdog Fantasy. A whole bunch of cool boosts and specials. Scott, I actually have a 30% boost on NHL, so I'm gonna need your help. So
Okay.
I have to use that. It's up to $1,000 too. I mean, there's no way I'm putting anywhere close near that amount on NHL, but yeah, I could use your help. So sign up with promo code NBA SGPN, NBA SGPN. Get your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code NBA SGPN. Scott, was that one of the guys that you needed to score?
No, but I still have rushing touchdown each quarter, so I'll take that.
Okay. All right. Cool. Scott and I also sweating out Scott's bets on well, I'm sweating too. I
just have an absurd 2 bets going on in the Jacksonville State game. It's just ridiculous. I have a rushing touchdown each quarter, and I have the quarterback for Jacksonville State and Stewart, the running back, to combine for 6 touchdowns in the game at plus 9,900, and they had 4 in the first half. So it was not the guy, but I do have rushing touchdown each quarter. So I'll move on to the fourth, and we'll go from there. It's fine.
All right. New York Liberty hosting the Minnesota Lynx in game 1 of the WNBA Finals. I'm sorry. Can we get that drop one more time?
Let's get ready to rumble!
All right. New York Liberty laying 6, 159.5 is the total. I don't see any injury news here. Looks like everything is steady. Scott, you teased it. You think the Liberty win. Line's currently at 6. It's kind of a lot of points to be laying in the finals. I will admit that, but I think this game just means too much. The Liberty should come out here clicking on all cylinders. You teased it. It's they just came off of a game 5, and the New York Liberty are coming off rest. They've been in New
Yep.
York. They're waiting in New York for them. I 100% think the New York Liberty are gonna come out here. Just I think it might be just that game where the New York Liberty hit every shot, and it doesn't kind of matter
Mhm.
what Cheryl Reeve kind of game plans and how this defense plays them, because the Liberty are just going to be unconscious from the field in what is going to be a really, really crazy atmosphere. But yeah, I'm with you here. I think the New York Liberty win, and I'm going to go ahead and say they cover. I think this is going to be a competitive series, and Cheryl Reeve, the better coach, is going to come back in game 2 with a better game plan and maybe outcoach Sandy in game 2 a little bit. But I like Liberty get it done on their home floor in game 1 of WNBA Finals.
Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it. Of course, we know that Minnesota's done well against this team, based on the Commissioner's Cup title and based on the regular season. Minnesota did win the series 2-1, so I believe it was 3-1, including the
Mhm.
Commissioner's Cup. Correct?
Let me double check that.
Okay. Point is that though they faced off 2 times in the Barclays and they split. So you have seen kind of mixed results, but based on how many minutes the Lynx players played in that elimination game, even though they were coasting for most of the way, you're reading off the minutes. Carlton played 30, Smith played 30, Collier played 37, McBride played
Mhm.
32, and Williams played 31. You celebrated after the game. You had a big emotional high. Now you got to reset, go to New York. It's not exactly the best travel spot either, going from the Midwest to New York. I think it's a very good spot for the Liberty. Once again, I picked the Liberty to win game 1, and then the series might be an absolute crapshoot. But for game 1 in this environment, we saw the Aces look very helpless at times in this building in the past series. Now, they made game 2 competitive, but for
Mhm.
most of the games in New York, the Liberty looked very, very comfortable. And the crowd noise was definitely something that mattered. And you could tell from the energy that the crowd gave off, it definitely helped out the Liberty, especially in game 1 of that series. I see a similar story here. They've unfinished business. They were here last year. They lost on their home floor. I think game 1's a great spot for the Liberty. I'll take the Liberty -6.5. Or minus
Yes,
six, because you said you found a 6.
this is the 5th time they are playing. So they did play 4 times, 2 and 1 in the actual games that, well, all the games matter, but the 3 games that were recorded, and then the game that wasn't recorded was the Commissioner Cup when they played that off-site game, and
It was in
Minnesota got
Elmont,
it
I
done
think,
there too.
in the Islander Stadium, yeah.
So yeah, so uh pretty good. 2 and 1 in New York. 2 and 1 in New York for the
Mhm.
Minnesota Lynx here. But yeah, I think the first game is Liberty, and then let's reevaluate in game 2. But uh I think the Liberty get it done, laying a 5 or a
I mean,
five and a half,
it's a
6.
spoiler,
Looks
but
like he's got some 5.5s.
if the Liberty win and cover game 1 and this line explodes to, like, or maybe it stays the same, like 6.5 or 7, there's no chance I'm taking this in game 2. Like, if I was gonna take Liberty for
I
this
hope they
spread,
I
it would
hope they
only be
blow
game
him
1.
out.
Yeah, so do I.
I hope they blow him out. I hope they blow him out, and we get a 7-8 in game 2. Maybe not an 8.
I
8 is
based
crazy,
on what
but
I've
7.
seen with playoff series from betting markets, the lines usually don't move that much at all from a spread perspective between games 1 and 2. Usually the total
Okay.
might move a little bit. Like if the game flies over, maybe it goes up a point or two. The spread for game
Mhm.
2, unless Minnesota win outright, or you have something that like Minnesota just wins comfortably, the spread should be around the same for game 2, from what I've seen.
Still, I would
Yeah.
I would take the points in game 2. So that's what it sounds like. It sounds like we're laying it here, taking the points in game 2. We'll see if things change. All right, total 159 and a half. This I struggle with a little bit more
I'm not sure either.
because I think that there's only, well, really, when I really think about it, there's only one script I see here where this goes over. And I mean, I guess it's kind of easy to say this, but if both teams are unconscious, like the Lynx continue to hit all the 3-point shots they shoot, the Liberty have the offense that we know them to have, then of course this is flying over. But like we could see an angle where maybe Minnesota is fatigued from that series. It was a really, really physical series, like a extremely physical series that was draining to play 5 games. So Minnesota could come in here fatigued and not look the best. Yeah, the Liberty have a good day, but Minnesota pulls this under, or it could just be the crazy competitive final series that we know this is going to be. And this is a very competitive game. Both of these defenses step up and it goes under like that. So I guess I'm leaning to the under, Scott. I like under. Give me the under. 159 and a half.
I think I'm going to have to agree with you because if we are picking the Liberty to win this game, I do think the Liberty's length will give Minnesota's offense problems initially. And I do think some fatigue and maybe just the emotional
Mm-hmm.
rebound spot where you had a phenomenal showing in game 5. You celebrated at home in front of your fans. Now you're headed back to New York and you got to start all over. I do think they might come out flat. I see some people in the comment section
Mm-hmm.
disagreeing. They think that Minnesota is going to come out and punch him in the mouth. New York might be a
Yeah,
bit
the
rusty.
comments are split.
You can argue about it. Rest versus rust usually is all hindsight, where as soon as you see what happens in the game, you're like, of course this is what happened. It's like, no, it's
Mm-hmm.
a 50-50 shot. You just saw what happened and then you decided afterwards. You might be right. But I think the Liberty, with this overall crowd atmosphere, should be able to look sharp defensively, in my opinion, for game 1. We'll reevaluate game 2. I think I'm going under. Minnesota defensively is very solid. The one problem that I have, though, is that those last
Mm-hmm.
couple games against the Sun were very high scoring. The last 3 games of that series did
Yeah.
kind of explode after we had some rock fights in games 1 and 2. That does concern me a bit for an under. The total, of course, is higher in this game than it was for the games in that last series. But do you think that I kind of have to toss that out? Is that a bit concerning? They gave up that many points to Connecticut in 3 straight games.
Nah, that is Connecticut's offense. Very
So
concerning.
I might be talking myself out of it, actually. Once again, I'm not going to play the total. I think I'll lean over. I talked myself out of it. Minnesota's defense wasn't really looking as great. It did in the first half against Connecticut. Then the game kind of opened up in the second half. But I think I Benedicted live on air, and I'm going to go with the over instead. I see points. So there we go.
And shout out to Helms. Helms was like, regardless, I think we all can agree. Whatever happens in game 1, we're taking the opposite in game 2. Yeah,
Yeah, pretty
pretty
much.
much. This
Yeah.
this
Mm.
this series screams zigzag theory. Like it just screams zigzag theory here. So, all right, yeah, I'm not 100% sold on that total either. But all right, before we get to player props though, gotta talk to you about BetUS. Best in the business, bet the best in the business with BetUS. Over 30 years they've been operating, and they also make it super, super duper easy for you to create an account, easily deposit using cryptocurrency, and get paid out lightning fast payouts. So US players always welcome, international players are welcome. Hey, sign up with and deposit with $100. Sign up and deposit $100, and guess what? You can have a chance to win a 1960 Ford Mustang. Come on, why not? You get to sign up, deposit. Also, when you deposit, you're going to get that 100%, 125% deposit bonus as well. So not only do you get your deposit, you get a nice bonus, you get the bet, and you get a chance to win a 1960 Ford Mustang. Why not? Why can't it be you? Why can't it be you to win the Ford Mustang? I just ask, if you win the Ford Mustang, can I get a ride? Like, I just want to ride in it. It sounds really, really cool. So please let me know. Let us know if you win the car, because that would be really, really cool. It will shout you out. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/BetUS. That's SportsGamblingPodcast.com/BetUS. Promo code SGPN. So they know we sent you. BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook. Russell brought to you by Rhythm. Firing up the Rhythm Labs. Here, their AI systems, AI models are just great. Great, and I love backing their AI plays. But hey, if you're one of those, I don't trust AI people, then you can 100% go in there and make your own models as well. Add in the parts of the game that you value and see what your models drop out there. So, firing up the Rhythm Labs. And Scott, we went back and forth on it. You ended up Benedicting.
Yep.
Benedicting was the right play. over 159.5, 58.7% win probability. They're expecting 163 points here, Scott. So
Okay.
good call. Good call. Backing Rhythm over 159.5 on the total. Make sure you use that link, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, RITHMM, for a 7-day free trial to get access to that and way more bets with Rhythm. All right, player props. What you like here, Scott?
All right. So this worked out well for me for basically the entire Aces series. I did like going to the under on Lainey Hamilton. Nothing against her. We all know that I like her as a player, but she's injured. And I feel like we've noticed that her minutes have been kind of cut because of it. We've seen a lot more run for Fevich and company, and I do think that Lainey Hamilton is worth fading again. If you want to go for the under on 13.5 points, rebounds, and assists at -106, she has gone under in 5 straight games. So I do want to point that out. If you want to take the rebounds out, because the rebounds have actually been fine for her recently. She has had 4+ rebounds in 3 of the last 4. If you want to only do points and assists, you can get that at 10.5, and she's also gone under that number in 5 straight. I prefer that angle. I don't see many assists for her. I don't see many points. The points are at 7.5. She's gone under in 4 of the last 5 as well. I'll go back to the well. You know that I love fading injured players, and we have seen her minutes be cut. So I will go with the under on Lainey Hamilton. I'll ignore the rebounds. Give me the points and assists under 10.5 at -120.
All right, Scott. Stewie, step into the office. You made a good angle about the Stewie rebounds, and they are extremely important because Stewie has had double-digit rebounds in 5 straight games against the Minnesota Lynx. 18, 17, 11, 11, 11. Her rebound line is at 9.5 here. I don't know if that's because, it was kind of hit or miss with the Aces series, but she's dominated rebounds against this team. We've roasted Minnesota for their rebounding effort all season. So, of course, you said it. Liberty got to dominate rebounding. Why would we not start with Breanna Stewart? So, Breanna Stewart over 9.5 rebounds.
Okay. Not against that. I feel like I have to at least make a case for Jonquel. If we are picking her to potentially win Finals MVP, we probably should give out something with Jonquel because that's going to be correlated.
Yeah.
I got to figure out what I want to do. I think I would consider going with. I mean, they've defended her well in the head-to-head, though. That's kind of the problem. But I mean, the rebounds at 9.5 is pretty appealing. I think that she's in line for what could be a solid matchup. I am wondering who's going to guard her on the team. You can't. What are you going to put? Can't really put Collier on her because she's too small. But I don't know who Collier's going to guard. Do you want Collier on Stewie or do you want Collier on Jonquel?
Probably. I mean, it's probably going to be a mix of both. I think her and Alana Smith, very, very good all defense this year as well. Both of them are pretty good inside the paint. It's just going to be, is Jonquel going to be able to be stronger and fight over that? But both of them, I think, are going to play pretty solid defense on them. But Stewie has had the edge in the matchup. Stewie's like own Minnesota in scoring, rebounding, everything. So that's always the hard part if Stewie just goes out there and does Stewie things. But so I'm fine with the flyer on just like Jonquel points, rebounds, and assists, and saying, hey, when she starts to dominate inside, maybe they continue to keep going to her. And then that's also going to open things up for the 3-point shooters like Sabrina, Fevich, maybe Lainey Hamilton. I think at the most Lainey Hamilton can shoot a 3, but it's just everything else is probably not, all the movement, everything else is probably not the thing for her. So I think a Jonquel PRA is probably a good look.
Yeah, I'm not against that too. I think I am going to go to Fevich 3s, though, which I am pretty interested in. It's at 1.5. Very affordable. I believe it's like -110. I think Fevich 2+3s. Yeah, it's -110. She has made at least 2 3-pointers in 5 of the last 6 games. Minnesota has defended her very well this season, but we have seen her
she hasn't played as much.
I was going to say her minutes have exploded recently.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's not exactly a good indicator of how Minnesota's going to guard her when her minutes were in the 20s. She might play 30+ minutes here, but I think Fevich has a solid role on this team. We know how good she can be. Give me the over on her 1.5 threes at -110. I gave her out to lead the series in threes. I'm gonna take her 1.5 threes at -110.
Yeah, I like it. But Sabrina, hello, I'm back.
Mhm.
I'm all over. I'm all over Sabrina in this series. I think she just explodes. Gonna continue to go with the threes market here, and think that she just shoots the ball really well. Comes off of the screens and able to hit. Jonquil double double is plus 145. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, Thomas. Yes, good call. Sabrina over 2.5 threes minus 125. I'm gonna roll with it again. I think this is her series. I'm so bought into Sabrina having a really good series. Uh, what else here? What else is interesting? I can get behind Bridget again,
Okay.
in case we get a random Bridget legacy game. And Bridget's had, hey, don't look don't look now, but Bridget's had 5 and 6 threes in 2 of her last 3 games against the Liberty. So
Yep.
expanded
Commissioner's Cup game,
role,
she
they've
kinda
been
went
looking
off.
to her. Yeah, I like Bridget Carlton over her threes as well. I think this could be a series where she just kind of comes out into her own and continues to shoot the ball really well. And I feel like I have to go to Courtney Williams assists over 5.5. She's been pretty solid to this number against the Liberty as well. What is this? She's gone over in 5 of her last 8 against the Liberty over this 5.5, and then the ones that she didn't go over 5, 5, and 4. So she's been pretty close. 5.5 is at plus 104. With her and Fee, like that's going to be at least 3 assists right there. They're playing really well in the pick and roll together, playing some 2-man ball together or 2-woman ball together. So I think that Courtney Williams running this offense, initiating this offense. We have the flyer on Courtney Williams to win Finals MVP. So 100%, I think that she's going to challenge for assist leader as well. I like her to be able to get over 5.5.
Yeah, I don't mind that either. I did find one other prop that I actually like. It's an under. I actually like Alana Smith under 13.5 points and rebounds. Not very impactful. The
Okay.
last 3 games against the Sun, she had a less than 13 in each of the last 3 games. Against the Liberty, she has gone under in 3 straight. So the Liberty have defended her quite well. Foul trouble could be a concern because we know that she's going to be guarding probably the likes of either Stewie or John Quell. Probably not ideal. So I'll go with the under on Alana Smith, 13.5 points and rebounds.
All right. I think that's it for me, Scott. Anything else?
No. Then that basically covers it.
All right. Uh, nah. Wait. What's Sabrina's triple double price?
You think she gets the 10 rebounds?
I mean, come on. The Lynx suck at rebounding. She could get a few long ones and just what if if she stumbled across 10, I wouldn't be surprised.
I
Like,
don't even see a triple double line. I think you have to build that. Double doubles plus 650.
all right,
So
we'll go with double double plus 650. Yeah, I mean, come on. One of these games, Sabrina's a good rebounding guard. Like, she could stumble across 10 rebounds across one of these games. 100%. I think I'm gonna play it every single game in the series and just hope it hits once. I'm so locked in. All right,
I can try to
lock
build the
dog.
NSQ triple double, by the way. I could try to build it and let you know what the price pays out, but I got to see if they even have options. So
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
look into it.
I'm looking to this. All right, for my lock, I'm rolling with Stewie over 9.5 rebounds
Okay.
because sometimes you have to go against your. I have a lot riding on Sabrina during this series of her stepping up and being the person in charge. So I need my lock to kind of correlate, but also go against that so that I can maximize value here. And the rebounds have been so good for Stewie. And we both agree rebounding is the clear-cut edge that the Liberty have over the Lynx. I think she continues to do it. She's gone over in 5 straight. I think she does it again. Give me Sabrina, not Sabrina, give me Brianna Stewart over 9.5 rebounds at minus 115 for my lock. Tried to get a little different. It was too easy to lock up Liberty. I'd probably give that out on my other show. For my dog, hmm, actually, actually, let's get weird. Let's get weird. It's not weird, but we kind of talked about it. Where's the win margin? I can't find the win margin bet. Where's the win margin bet?
It's usually in the popular section. What do you want? Liberty 1 to 10 is
Yeah.
165.
Oh, there it is.
Liberty 11 plus is 155.
Found it. Yeah. Wait, 155. That's it.
For 11 plus, yes. For 1 to 10, it's 165.
Let me see. Spread alternate. Oh no, I'm going to DraftKings. DraftKings, way better price. Get the Liberty to win by 11. Liberty minus 11, 2-1.
Okay. So you think they just smack them?
Just 12 points. I mean, yeah. Come on. I mean, it was a physical series, Scott. Like a really, really physical series. If we get to the point where we're in the third quarter and they're up double digits, I mean, they're not going to pack it in because it's the finals, but how much more are they going to have to give? So, yeah. Let's go.
That's fair.
Let's go all in on the Liberty. Just go ahead and smack them in the first game, and then the second game is the more competitive game. So yeah, I'm 100% Liberty lane 11 plus 2.
By the way, I looked up Sabrina. I could not find triple double, but you can do 8 assists and 8 rebounds at around 23-1.
8 assists and 8 rebounds at 23-1.
It's
Holy
the best
crap.
I can find.
Yeah, I'll take it. I had to think about that. I'm like, what? She can stumble. Like those rebounds are going, and then they're shooting threes, so they could be long rebounds, and she just comes up with it. Like, yeah, 100%. I'm gonna have a play on that. Matter of fact, where'd you get that at?
Oh, that was on Fan. I had to build it, so I did a parlay. I did a same game parlay. So
okay, that's gonna be the parlay. So there you go. Appreciate it. Scott gave me the Villanelle parlay. Sabrina, 8 plus rebounds, 8 plus assists, 20-1. I'm gonna go bet that.
okay. For my lock, I am going to go with a halftime full-time play. Give me the Liberty, halftime full-time, minus 135 on a Bet365. I think they get out to an early lead. I think Minnesota might be fatigued, but it's mostly the crowd. I just think the energy and the overall arena is going to be incredible. And I think the Liberty ride it early. Give me the Liberty, halftime full-time at minus 135 as my lock. For my dog, this is where it got tricky because I was trying to think if there was any like alt lines that I actually was a fan of or anything of the sort. And I don't know if there's actually anything I do like that much. I'll go for a player performance double. You know what? I mentioned Thibich before. I like the 3-pointers. Give me Thibich 2 plus 3s and the Liberty to win at plus 164.
All right. I like that. It's simple. Very simple. You just need 2. That's 3 things. You need 3 things to happen. That's it. All right. Underdog. Let's get into it. Let me fire up good old underdog fantasy here. And let's cook up. There we go. All right. Where are we starting at here? I already locked up Stewie rebounds. I don't know if we want to go back to that.
It's up to you. We can go back to it. It's fine.
Okay. Stewie higher on 9.5 rebounds.
I do like that Alana Smith lower on points and rebounds, so I'd throw that in too.
13.5 lower. And then we can double up on Thibich, or we can go to Courtney Williams.
Let's go Courtney.
Or Junkwell. Courtney?
Yeah, let's go Courtney.
She just dropped the dog promo. We have to play that. Yeah, I'm with you. All right. And it's a little spicy too. Brandon Stewart, higher 9.5 rebounds. Alana Smith, lower 13.5 points and rebounds. Courtney Williams, higher 5.5 assists. That's going to pay 6.3x. $100 gets you $630 up there. Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. Hey, if you love everything we're doing as well, please get over to Spotify and give us a 5-star review. I know you're listening on YouTube right now. Just hop over in your Spotify app and give us a 5-star rating and review. Apple too, 5-star rating and review. Really, really appreciate that. We just had a meeting with the bosses and they said those reviews are really, really helping and we could use more of them. So if you like us and you like what we do for free, then hey, just drop over and give us a review real quick. Scott Streeter, I show. Anything else for the people before we get up out of here?
Yes, as you know, this show is on the NBA Gambling Podcast. There will be an NBA episode tomorrow for a division preview. So if you do want some NBA coverage, we are still doing the off-season series. You know that Terrell and I did an episode earlier this week, I believe on Monday, for the Atlantic Division. So we're still doing divisions. We're going to cover the awards also in a week or so. So once again, if you want some NBA thoughts, same exact YouTube channel should be coming out tomorrow afternoon.
All right. There you go. Y'all heard it. NBA on the way back. Can't wait to convert WNBA audience and the NBA audience and have them merged into one because it's going to be insane. All right. He's at Reichel Radio. I'm at really real __. Make sure you give us a follow on X at SGPN NBA. Remember that NBA season is coming up. And make sure, hey, youtube.com/NBA Gambling Podcast. Comment, subscribe, all of that. Scott and I will be back. Game 2. I have nothing else to say. Nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. Just going to end like this. Liberty, Liberty. We are out of here.